As you point to, that one thing that was clear from the many, many questions that we all have, especially in terms of policy in the Middle East, was Russia. Both presidents saying Russia is a sort of fact on the ground. We know we have to deal with Russia. Do you think that's the right approach to take, particularly in the Middle East?
I have to say I'm a deep skeptic of that. I think Russia's on the ground. Russia's on the ground because we created a vacuum by not providing sufficient assistance to the Syrian opposition, by not taking action when it was necessary after Assad used chemical weapons back in 2013. It was a major strategic blunder by President Obama, and sensing this, Putin stepped in and was able to tighten up his alliance with Syria and put troops on the ground. We need to get the Russians out of Syria. We also need to do what we can to break the Russian-Iranian access, which is a threat not only to U.S. interests, but also to Israeli interests as well.
Ken, exactly on that point, Iran, how does all of this line up in your eyes? Because if we see President Trump, who is saying not necessarily that Assad needs to go, been very unclear on that, at the same time cooperating with Russia in Syria, which is a very close ally of Iran, how does that line up with a hardline policy that wants to get Iran out of the Middle East?
We'll have to see how things develop. It's not clear quite what the direction of the policy is as of now. In my mind, what's certain is that President Macron is definitely softer on Iran than Hollande was. We just saw this major deal signed by French oil company Total to develop natural gas at the Pars field in Iran. It was the largest deal ever signed with Iran since the JCPOA went into effect. That's certainly of concern. I would say with regard to the United States that the president remains firm, tough on Iran, certainly working closely with our Sunni allies, the Saudis and the UAE, to try to counter Iran in the region as much as possible. The question is going to be, what does the outcome look like in Syria? What kind of an outcome are we promoting? Are we promoting a possible division of Syria? Or are we going to work to keep Syria intact? And I think there we'll see what the benefits are for Iran. If Syria is eventually broken up and becomes a much smaller country and Assad effectively has much less space to operate in, then that is certainly that goes against Iran's interest, against Iranian ambitions.